So by using the value here, again, by using a V2 value, substitute this value in numerator. The denominator already we have as per the given previous answer 55.27, that equal to input voltage. So output voltage divided by input voltage. So we are able to obtain the gain, convert into the gain decibels. Answer equals to 20.269. So problem solved, solution for problem completed. Let I move for next slide, next problem. So in this problem, they mentioned by using our theoretical knowledge, so evaluate the given question. I am reading the statement, question from the third problem. The operating frequency of two cavity klystron is 5 GHz. The operating frequency 5 GHz, and for a given input RF voltage, we have 40 kilovolt. So magnitude of the gap voltage is 100 volts. The capacity is 4 mm. So calculate the following the data. First question equal to transit time. Second question equal to transit angle. Third one equal to velocity of electrons from the gap. So this is the question as similar to that of previous two models, but quite improvement in the question. So to solve that one, first consider the beam velocity equation. So from theory, recall beam velocity equation. 0.593 into 10 power 6 square root of V naught. Try to solve for this V naught. Already we have V naught equals to 40 kilovolt. So DC beam velocity answer equal to 1.186 into 10 power 8 milli per second. So now I am focusing on tau z, that equal to gap transit time, distance divided by velocity. So already in the question they mentioned the distance that equal to 4 mm capacity gap. So from the data recall 4 mm. So D equals to 4 mm. So D equals to 4 mm numerator. Denominator already in our previous step, take from previous step. In our calculators, 33.7 into 10 power minus 12 second. So this is the transit time. So by using this transit time, try to solve the angle. That is the transit gap transit angle. We have formula 2 pi f. So already they mentioned f equal to 5 gigahertz. Try to substitute 2 pi into frequency into previous transit time. So answer equals to 1.059 radians. So try to put this radians into the degrees, 60 degrees. So up to now what we solved, beam velocity obtained, transit gap time obtained, transit angle obtained. So by using all this data, next what is our next task? We have to calculate the coefficient, beam coupling coefficient, beta 1. So from theory, we have sine formula equation, sine of theta z by 2 divided by theta z. So already we have theta g in our previous work. Substitution required. Answer equals to 0.95. So by using the two cavity klystron block diagram, try to implement this numerical answers. Try to implement this numerical answer and adopt the knowledge into the theoretical phenomena. So by using theory, adopt the knowledge into this numerical application. So what is the equation we noticed in theory? So V of t, maximum value, V of t equals to V naught into 1 plus beta 1 2 by divided by 2 V naught sine of omega t. So this is the equation taken from theory answer, previous discussion. So in previous video lectures, we noticed V of t equal to V naught multiplied by 1 plus beta 1 V1 divided by 2 V naught sine of omega t1. So all the known values, substitute all known values. V naught we have, beta 1 already we have. So omega t1 is unknown function. I'll leave it so. So by using this knowledge, try to adapt the equation for our maximum and minimum velocity. Why? Because at early electrons, we found velocity at early electron is slow. Velocity at the reference electron is moderate. Velocity at the late electron is high. So by using theoretical knowledge, so just recall theory and implement the knowledge in the problem solving. So by using theory, what I have to maximum velocity equation. So pointer is showing maximum velocity equation. What is the maximum velocity? How to note in the equation? V naught multiplied by 1 plus alpha t. So we have the all related data. So this related data is put it here. So we got maximum velocity and minimum velocity. Similarly, solve minimum velocity. Clear? So once again, I am recalling the what happening in this problem. So actually, this problem belongs from two cavity klystron theoretical implementation. So under that, by using the data, for aim equal to calculation of the transit time, transit angle, and velocity. So by using the question, read the question one and two times. So just recall the data from theory. From theory, we have beam velocity equation. First note down. So by using the given question, you import the data from the question into the equation. So we have intermediate answer 1.186 into 10 power 8 milli per seconds. Now focus on the question, transit time. So to calculate the transit time, again go to the theory, take the equation, distance by velocity. So you got the transit time. So by using this value, how to calculate the transit angle? So transit angle directly calculated, just time multiplied by your omega. So automatically we obtained 60 degrees in our question. What is the third bit? Evaluate the velocities of the electrons. First, by using the theory, you have to notice how many electron velocities are available. So we have early electron and late electron. So therefore, maximum velocity and minimum velocities are obtained. So what is the maximum velocity? So from theory, take the expression V naught into 1 plus alpha by 2. So how to solve this alpha? So you are having the alpha in our theory, V of t equal to V naught into 1 plus beta 1 V1 by 2 V naught sin omega t. Take the help of the equation. So again notice substitutions. So finally we obtained the maximum velocity answer and minimum velocity answer. So this is the process how to solve the questions problems related to two cavity klystron. So let me move to another model. So come to the next problem number 4. So I am reading once again the data question. So the operating frequency of two cavity klystron. Operating frequency of two cavity klystron is 10 gigahertz. So therefore current and voltages when RF input is not applied to the current klystron is 14.4 milliamperes. The output equal to 40 kilovolts. So evaluate the maximum voltage and the power gain when the drift space length equal to 1 centimeter. And similarly, sheet conductance equal to 20 micro ohm and the beam coupling coefficient equal to 0.92. So this is the actual data they will mention. So what is their intention? What is that their intention equal to? Try to evaluate the maximum voltage gains. So how to solve this voltage gains? First notice the equation. First recall or remember, just note the equation. Just recall the equation from theory. So in theory, what is the maximum voltage equation gain? On screen, we are having capital A equals to B square theta naught I naught J1 of X maximum value for this J1 of X numerator. So divided by capital X into V naught into GSH. So already capital X value we have. So try to solve the capital X. So beam voltage. So how to calculate the beam voltage V naught? We have already previous exercise 0.593 10 power 6 square root of V naught. So try to import the value. So we are obtained 1.186 10 power 8 milliseconds. So by using this data, what is our intention? Again, calculate the transit angle. Same previous here we solved the transit angle. Similarly, try to solve the transit angle by using the given data. So omega L divided by V naught. Omega L divided by V naught. So import the answers and the direct substitution in the transit angle. So we have got answer angle 21 radians. To take maximum voltage gain, again, what is our aim for the question? Maximum voltage gain. So beta square, beta equal to here 0.92. They mention in the question. Read the question carefully. Beta equal to 0.92. So direct beta equal to 0.92. Theta naught transit angle 21 radians. Current in the question 14.4 milliamperes. J x equal to they mentioned J1 of x equal to 0.582 into 10 power minus 2 numerator. So denominator already we have capital X 1.844 direct substitution V naught. So we are having in the question automatically we are having V naught equal to 40 kilovolt. So direct substitution. Next is shunt conductance direct 20 microvolts. So maximum voltage is equal to 1.012 10 power minus 3. We move on to next slide. Go to next slide. So again, just to recall for all of knowledge. So the operating problem number 5. Problem number 5. Operating frequency of two cavity klystron is 4 gigahertz. Current and voltage when the RF input not applied to the klystron is 52 milliamperes. V naught 4 kilovolt. So gap 2 mm. The gap between the cavity 6 centimeters. And if the TC beam voltage, conductance and catcher cavity total equivalent conductance are 0.25 into 10 power minus 4 mho, as well as calculate beam coupling coefficient, TC transit angle, drift space, input cavity voltage magnitude for maximum output voltage gain, neglecting the beam reading. So as per the data given in the question, So our solution start from beam velocity. First step, beam velocity 0.59 10 power 6 square root of V naught. So automatically identified 3.76 into 10 power 7 milli per second. Same like previous example, first evaluate transit angle theta z. So we have formula and data, direct substitution 76 degrees. Next, our intention is to calculate the beam coupling coefficient. So direct substitution, formula based question 0.927. Next step, calculate the drift space. Calculate the drift space, theta naught omega L by V naught, direct substitution 40 radians. So directly the beam coefficient solved, DC transit angle solved, drift space solved, input cavity solved, maximum voltage, input voltage. So input cavity voltage magnitude. So we have x equal to 1.814. So J1 of x equal to 0.582. So input cavity gap voltage V1 equals to 2 V naught x by beta 1 theta naught. So 2 into 4 into 10 power 3, 4 into 1.84. So we have capital X 1.84, V naught 4 kilovolt, direct substitution. Denominator beta 1 0.927, transit angle 40 radians, direct substitution. Next, voltage gain. How to evaluate the voltage gain? So we have previous theoretical formula beta square theta naught J1 of x I naught divided by x V naught into shunt resistance. So beta we have 0.927. So 0.927 into 0.927. Transit angle 40. J1 of x 0.582. I naught 20. So they mentioned here 88 millivolt. So all required data substitution. So we are able to calculate 12 dB. Next, how to calculate the catcher cavity voltage P2. V1 is the input cavity voltage, output cavity, catcher cavity, gain multiplied by input. So 4.36, 4.36 na AV. So 4.36 multiplied by V1. So that equals to 98. So answer 431.64 volt. So output or catcher voltage. So likewise, in previous university question papers, by using the theoretical knowledge of two-cavity klystron, implement the problem solving. How to solve the problem by using the theory. So first, recall the equations, observe the given question, notice the given data. So how to import this data into our known equations. So direct substitutions, answers will be available. So these are the problems up to now on two cavity klystron. Go to next slide. So now by using the two cavity klystron knowledge, we are implementing in our syllabus multi cavity klystron. So in the multi cavity klystron, between input cavity and output cavity, we have several cavities are embedded into the particular gap. So that equals to your intermediate cavities. So electron gun is available input cavity. So we are applying this microwave signal into the input cavity. So output cavity, output cavity. So we are having the collector or collection point. So in between this 4-cavity clustron, we have intermediate cavities are replaced between microwave input cavity and output cavity. So observe the difference between previous 2-cavity clustron and this multi-cavity clustron, which is equals to placement of the multiple cavities in between the input cavity and output cavity. So a rough formulated diagram can be represented by multi-cavity clustron. So for this multi-cavity clustron, apply somewhat of the focusing the magnet. Why? Because direction of these electron beam, which are participating in the velocity modulation, that can be shown on this multi-cavity clustron. Entire process is similar to that of a 2-cavity clustron. Only in the hardware prototype point of view, we add 2 or more cavities on for your multi-cavity clustron. Go to the next slide. So same knowledge from the previous 2-cavity clustron. So I extended the output voltage and output power by using the previous 2-cavity clustron answers. So output voltage will be formulated by 1 by 8 current I naught W omega divided by V naught omega Q power 3. So beta square modulus of U1 R square multiplied by R shunt resistance in the load side. So that equal to your output voltage. And similarly, power equation here I am representing the power equation. So you are showing on the screen power output equation I square current I square multiplied by R. So we have 1 by 64 I naught W by V naught W whole power 6 beta square V square R power 4 multiplied by RSHL. So this is called voltage and power equations for the 4-cavity clustron, as similar to that of extended equations by 2-cavity model. So in the question, omega equal to angular velocity and omega Q equal to plasma frequency, beta equal to coupling coefficient, RSH is the total shunt resistance by input cavity side, RSHL output cavity, I current, clear. So V1 equal to magnitude of V1 is the input signal amplitude or magnitude. So here I have mentioned some performance characteristics of the multi-cavity. Why? Because 2-cavity clustron only operate. What is the multi-cavity clustron? Are nothing but all parameters are improved by 2-cavity clustron in the power, efficiency, gain, frequency. So therefore, comparative to 2-cavity, multi-cavity has top end features. For example, 2-cavity clustron able to provide a gain 20 dB, but it will able to provide a power gain of 40 dB. So multi-cavity clustron will able to give the power gain 40 dB. And the frequency is also improved up to 14 gigahertz operating frequency. The power is also be improved up to 40 megawatt, so kilowatt to megawatt. So therefore, by using this multi-cavity clustron amplifier, so these multi-cavity clustron amplifiers has applications like microwave tubes, amplifiers, oscillators, microwave sources, designing works, etc. So therefore, multi-cavity clustron is the high-end and extension work by the 2-cavity clustron. So this is the performance characteristics of the multi-cavity clustron. So here I am mentioning somewhat of the observation graph by the multi-cavity clustron. So plasma frequency reduction factor, capital R. So this factor indicates the how our multi-cavity clustrons will able to catch the velocity modulation process. So if the beta is increases, similarly we are having the same incremental in the reduction factor, plasma frequency reduction factor. So therefore, for given n equals to, what are the n equal to number of participating in the beam? Why? Because in the 2-cavity cluster now n equal to 1 2 3 etc. So n equal to 1 1.5 2 3 5, there are incremental variations for the capital N. It will be extended up to infinity. So therefore, automatically when n equal to increased from 1 to infinity, therefore automatically plasma frequency reduction factor is also be increasing. So this is the one of the important feature and application point of view. Multi-cavity clustron will able to provide the satisfactory results for plasma frequency reduction factor. So this is the one of the observation output waveform for multi-cavity clustron. So this is the photograph for the 4-cavity klystron amplifier, practical prototype or practical hardware symbol for the 4-cavity klystron amplifier. See here, this is the photograph for a 4-cavity klystron amplifier. So version equal to VA890H, taken from the courtesy of the Varian Associates of the company. So multi-cavity klystron, 4-cavity klystron. So in the next lecture, we are able to focus on reflex klystron amplifier, same style. So up to this video lecture, we completed in our unit number 3, microwave tubes, 2-cavity klystron and multi-cavity klystron. So thank you to one and all watching this video lecture. Next video lecture will be followed by reflex klystron topic.